All right, so this is the last video, and we're going to continue from what we already did, where we already found the two factors that we wanted, -2 and 25, and then instead of doing box method, we are going to do factor by grouping. And you're going to notice that these are incredibly similar. They're just physically set up differently. But we're going to use all the same numbers. We're going to get all the same answers at the end. So this is the original equation. And what we're going to do is break this 23x into the two factors that we found. So the 5x did not change, but instead of 23x, we're going to write -2x plus 25x. And then that minus 10 is the same. So you can notice the -2 is right here, and the 25 is right here. And again, I get asked, does it matter the order? No, because ultimately we're going to factor things out, and the order won't matter. So from this step, this is where we're going to need to really focus on the greatest common factor. So we need to find something that goes into 5x squared and -2x. And the only thing that works for these is x. X is the only thing that goes into both. So we're going to group these. We're going to look at the greatest common factor for those and the greatest common factor for those. So biggest thing between these two is x. So I'm going to divide this by x, and I end up with 5x. And I'm going to divide this by x, and I end up with -2. All right. Then I'm going to add. I'm going to look for the greatest common factor between these two, and it's going to be 5. Now notice they don't have an x in common, so I can't pull one out. This time the biggest thing they have in common is 5. So I'm going to divide this by 5, and I'm going to get 5x. And I'm going to divide this by 5, and I'm going to get 2. So hopefully what you've noticed, and this is what's nice about this method, it's easy to check, these two things have to be identical. If you do not get the same thing inside both parentheses, then something went wrong. It's possible that you pulled out the wrong factor, or it's possible that you made some kind of mathematical error when you're doing it. But I want you to notice that these two inside the parentheses should always match. And really what we're going to do next looks like magic. Okay, maybe not really. But I'm going to pull out the greatest common factor of these two things. Now that sounds really weird, but they both have 5x minus 2 in common. So I'm going to pull that out. So the first one that we can write is that repeated one. And then what you want to look at is what's left over, x plus 5. So you have just factored that trinomial. So these are factors. These two things are the factors themselves. So remember, though, we're trying to solve, and just like the last time, we're going to solve them by setting these equal to x. I'm sorry, setting them equal to 0 and solving for x. So that's always the last step. So again, like last time, I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. One of my solutions is 2/5. Oops. Let me show you that. And then I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides, and my other solution is -5. So again, these are solutions. These are solutions, and these are factors. I'm making a big deal about that because it comes up a lot and people confuse them. So the solutions are what x equals, and the factors are the two binomials that we broke that initial trinomial into. Okay, so now you're going to practice factor by grouping, and then you get to decide which method you think you want to go with. So good luck.